welcome to episode 15 of the Sista-Cousins Candid Conversations podcast. Today we are talking about the challenges of raising children. Mm, mm, mm. All these perfect little angels ain't nothing but little devils. Sometimes you got some sweet little kids. So Danya, since you got 5, count them 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You got 5 kids. Did you remind us that you have 5 kids? Okay, she got 5. We're gonna start with you today.
Because you know I got 5 kids, right?
I know. Do you have challenges in raising your little sweet peas?
I have 5 of them. Like a challenge of raising children. Let me just give you this one. I'm trying to record a podcast. On the other side of my door is my mother screaming at the little terrorist because apparently somebody just threw their plate with their dinner in the trash. Food costs money. Okay, but anyway, so I'm gonna point out a few of my challenges because not only am I raising 5 kids, but I am also a divorced single parent. My co-parent do not live in the same state as me. So one of the things that I run into the most is like one of my biggest challenges is I am doing everything. I am everything to everybody. There is nobody here to play good cop, bad cop with me against kids. Nobody to say, don't make me tell your daddy, and none of that. It's just me. So I have to be the nurturer, the listening ear, the disciplinarian. I have to be all of that all at the same time. And so it's exhausting. Because kids will worry you, mommy, mama, mommy. Let me show you this. And they blow on their hand. I can't stand that. Why do they do that? Like, that's so annoying. Like, really? Like, I'm thinking you're going to do something, some David Copperfield type stuff, like, hot air balloon across the Grand Canyon. Bruh.
So that was a trick? What they blowing?
Exactly. Exactly.
So it's happened before. Because we get this all the time. Look, mommy, what I can do. And it could be a skip. It could be them chewing on something. It could be them making an S. It could be anything.
Twirling in a circle. Woo! And the sad part, they really want you to be excited about that shit. And I just be looking at them like, I could have had a V8. But I mean, as a parent, you have to be, so that's like my biggest thing. Like, when you are doing it by yourself, like, so my kids have to make a decision. Like, so my kids want to be in extracurriculars. Well, here's the thing. Y'all all got to choose the same extracurricular because we only got one parent to get you to one location. Everybody needs to say, you want to play basketball? Okay, they got some cheerleaders, pay. You can be a cheerleader for the basketball team. Adam, you can be whatever. You want to play football? Pay. You can be a cheerleader. You play football. But everybody got to choose the same thing. Everybody can't have something different. It ain't gonna work out for us. As I know, you can use another parent, escort. I don't know you like that. So everybody got to choose the same thing. The other thing, like, when you're doing it by yourself, if somebody gets sick,
everybody gets sick, huh?
Everybody gets sick. And they don't get sick at the same time. They get sick like domino effect. So this one gets sick, this one start feeling better. Boom! This one got the flu, this one start feeling better. Boom! This one got pneumonia, this one start feeling better. It's like it's no break, because everybody, so that means you got to go to this doctor's appointment, you got to go to this doctor's appointment, you got to take off to go, it's just me. So that's my biggest huge, like, that is hard for me. And it's really difficult for me because I like my space and I like some me time, and I can't do that because I got 5 kids, right? 5 kids. So when one person don't need something, the other person needs something. And y'all know how I feel about mama's boys because we discussed that on our last podcast. But I promise you I got 2.
Ooh, that David.
I got 2 mama's boy. He ain't even a 1. It's Adam and Maxwell. So I have to hide from my children. I got a space in my closet. It got pillows and all kinds of things. And that's where I go. And I close the door and I cut the light off. And I got a little flashlight lantern in there so they can't find me. The struggle is real, yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
Hey. Okay. So that's my other. So like another thing, like there are no breaks. For me, like I said, I like some me time. I like to be able to, run and go get lost in the bookstore. And I really don't have that option because I don't have anyone like a parent to be here with them, even though, that I just need you to be present. You don't really have to do nothing. But if they're not there, I don't have that break. And so that's a big deal for me. The other one with me, because I have so many children, there are all of these different, and when I say different, very different personalities. All these different personalities. And then you have a 9-year-old who is mortal enemies with a 4-year-old because the 4-year-old took his place as the baby. So when I tell you they literally get into a fight every day.
But hey, neither one of them are the baby anymore because you got the little mama.
It don't matter. She don't count. She don't even matter. He don't even see her. It's the fact that Maxwell took his spot as the baby. And he will tell you this. That's why I don't really like him, mommy. He will tell you this. Okay.
Wow.
So, and then, I have a preteen girl who she has all the emotions in 1.2 seconds. Okay. All the emotions. So it's a lot. And then, they're nothing like me when I was a kid. They're
because you was a crybaby, they say.
That's what they say. But my mama said y'all mama lied. My mama said your mama lied and granny lied. So I'm just telling y'all what my mama said.
Your mama wasn't there. Remember, she wasn't there because you was crying for her.
I'm just saying she said that wasn't a fact. So whatever. But
they
no,
now whoever they is, they say it's 2 against 1. That's what they said.
No, I'm just saying, and I'm taking the word of my mama because my mama, that's my mama.
I can believe it now. You just told it all.
So it's like it's a lot. It's overwhelming. It's exhausting, and then like I feel, one of my biggest challenges is I will admit I feel like a failure as a parent most days. Mm-hmm. Like I struggle with, am I providing them the groundwork that they need to be, successful humans, not, just little kids. I want them to grow and to be God-fearing, respectful, successful, and to, and sometimes I don't know if I do that. Sometimes I think I scream too much. I cuss too much. I, like slam doors too much. And I feel bad about it. I make sure that, I never say no to a hug. I never say no to a kiss. And trust me, sometimes I don't want to hug and kiss them. I'm tired. I love them, but I'm tired. And then, old people shouldn't have babies. My youngest one, I was like 2 months away from turning 41. She be doing the absolute most. Like she was in her earlier, and she was basically going off on me in a language I don't yet speak. So I'm really not knowing what to do. And so yeah, I feel, my biggest challenge is there's not enough time for me to be a good parent. I just don't think I'm a good parent. I'll admit that. I'll tell anybody any day of the week, I'm not going to win any Mother of the Year awards. Another thing is sometimes I feel as if my children are missing out on something because I don't have a partner, a life partner or husband or whatever to teach them certain things. I mean, I can teach them a lot of things, but I just believe it takes a man to teach a boy how to become a man. And though I thought about, signing my kids up for like Big Brother or Little Brother programs, things like that, I got to get them now. When I'm gonna get them now. So, it's just a lot. For me, the biggest thing is time management and feeling that I'm not allowing them to participate in things because I don't have the time, because I have to work, in order to be able to provide, because I'm doing it on my own. So it's exhausting. I feel as if it's just not enough hours in the day to get it right, at least for me. And I sit down and I talk to them and I ask them things that they want to do, things that they think we can do better as a family unit to make it easier for all of us. So I try to have these actual open, honest conversations. So yeah, I mean, those are my biggest challenges as a parent. I'm tired because, you know, it's 5 of them just want to be, you know, listen, whatever anybody say something to me, like I go to the doctor, she be like, your blood pressure a little high. I'm like, you know, I got 5 kids, right? My boss say something to me, I'm like, you know, I remember that I got 5 kids. You know, I got 5 kids, right? Listen, that's my go-to for everything. You know, I got 5 kids, right? I'm just saying. That's why I need this T-shirt to say, you know, I got 5 kids, right? Like, you know,
is that a reason or an excuse?
That is the reason. It ain't. I don't make excuses. Excuses are tools of incompetence, which build monuments out of nothing. And those who specialize in themselves become good at anything else.
7th grade, college step. Whoop, whoop.
Miss Vincent choir class.
Was that Miss Vincent choir?
Yep. She made us say it every day.
I don't think I learned it in choir. Anyway,
that's why I learned it.
Well, I'm gonna try to stick up for my nieces and my nephews.
Don't stick up for them unless you're coming to get them.
It's hard on you as a single parent with 5 kids. Count them: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. However, you have to understand that it's difficult for them, that you may not be home with them, or that you got to be at work because you got to provide for them. They're just little people who need a little bit more guidance and love from their mama who has 5 kids. Don't be cussing.
Cry me a river. Cry me a river. I ain't trying to hear.
What I tell y'all, you should have had your children young. You should have been a heathen like me and had your children young. You would be going through this in the 40s, okay? I don't have them problems.
Listen, if I would have had my kids young, I know this one girl, and now I understand. She had her kids young. She had like 7 kids. You know how many she raised? 0. Gave all of them up for adoption. That probably would have been me. I would have gave my kids away if I would have had them young. I think I have a lot more
Joanna, can we hear from you?
Well, I can relate to a lot of Danya's, a lot of the things that she said. I think for me, one of my biggest problems now, being 40 or over 40, is how do I pursue my dreams and still balance that with being a full-time mother? That is probably my number one thing right now. Is I had kids when I was late, and it wasn't because I didn't want them early. It's because I was told that I would never have kids, and I thought I never would have kids until I got pregnant at 38, and I had my first child at 39. So for me, I think if I had had them younger, things will be a lot different now than they are. But because I'm older, I am struggling. Y'all check on them older parents now who are not accustomed to raising little people, okay? So now that I'm older, now that I know what I want to do with my life and I want to pursue those dreams, now I have these beautiful kids with me. And I'm constantly at odds with how much can I do without neglecting them, or how much, or if I do something, am I neglecting them, and how are they going to see that? So it's a constant battle with me, or just trying to keep my role as a mom separate from what I believe God has called me to do in this earth. Mm-hmm. And I believe he's called me to be a mom, but I think he's also called me to do some other things as far as my business wise, and as far as things he's given me specifically to do. So it's always at odds with weighing that with, being a mom to my kids and making sure that they feel like they're not missing out or anything. And I'm not spending too much time at work, but there's an even balance between the two. So that's one of my biggest struggles right now. Another thing is that, these children don't come with instruction manuals. So it's like, I don't know, like literally something will happen with my kids. They may do something. I may reach out to somebody and they say, oh, you need to do this for your child. But little people are different. They each have their own personalities.
Yes.
They're not the same. Like I can do one thing with my son that I cannot do with my daughter just because of the way her personality is set up. So I'm constantly like, I mean, I don't know what to do. I'm like, all I know to do is just to pray about it and do the best that I can. And I have to admit, there's sometimes that I have done things that have been wrong, and I've had to come back to my kids and say, "Mommy is sorry." You know, let me tell you a funny story. I don't know if you guys have had this happen before, but I see my son. Okay, my son is very creative. He's into a lot of things. He's a boy's boy. I will tell you that. I mean, jumping off of the couch, being Spider-Man, being a wrestler, play fighting. He's all that and then some. So one day, something happened where something got broke in the house. And because I had just told him to sit down like 5 minutes earlier, I assumed it was him. And I spanked him. I sent him to his room. Because I was like, I just told you not to do that, and now this is broken, blah, blah, blah. So maybe probably 20 minutes later, Zoe came in. So Zoe's my daughter. Now, Zoe, if she does something wrong, immediately she's going to tell herself, even if she's going to get a spanking, "Mommy, I'm sorry I broke this," or "Mommy, I'm sorry I did that." So she walked in the room and she was like, "Mommy, I broke the thing." And I felt so bad. I mean, literally, I was like in tears. I mean, literally 5 minutes before it got broke, I had told him to sit down, stop jumping because something was going to get broken. And literally 5 minutes later, it got broke, and I thought it was him.
Did he tell you though that he didn't do it?
He said he didn't do it. He said, "Mommy,"
but you didn't believe him.
Zoe was nowhere in the room. Nowhere in the room. It was only him. And I was like, I just told him 5 minutes ago not to do it. I went in there and I literally had to apologize to him and said, "Mommy is so sorry. I thought it was you. Zoe came to me and told me it was her. She did get in trouble for that." And, but I felt so bad as a parent. It's like,
you should have. You're going to have to answer to God for that.
I made my peace.
Girl, listen.
I repented, but it happens. I mean, I don't know.
It does.
It happens. So let's say Zoe was nowhere in the room. It was just him. He had just been chastised for jumping on the furniture. Then I hear a crash, like literally 2-3 minutes later. I naturally assumed it was him, and it was not. And I had to apologize to him and tell him that I was so sorry, that Mommy made a mistake. I thought it was you. Zoe did come to me and tell me it was wrong or whatever. That's a hard thing for a parent to have to do, but I think it's necessary because kids need to know you're not perfect. And that you're gonna make mistakes. Yes, you are the parent, but you don't know everything.
Right.
And it happens.
And I will say I have to apologize to my kids a lot. And it is a bitter pill to swallow, because I don't remember my mama ever telling me she's sorry. She gave me that ass whooping, and she meant it when she gave it to me, whether she was wrong or not, and she wasn't taking it back.
It's for next time you do something. The next time you do something wrong, huh?
Basically.
That's a huge thing. I'm finding that, I mean, and sometimes it could be just how I'm talking to them. Maybe I've had a frustrating day and they ask me something at the wrong time, and I kind of yell or whatever. Now my daughter's super sensitive, so if you even raise your voice a little bit, she's sad because she thinks you're yelling at her. So I have to be very careful about how I say things to her. But then there's sometimes that even when I'm talking to my son, that I may say something and then just the look on his face, I realized that hurt his feelings. So now I have to be like, "Mommy, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean it that way. I was trying to tell you to do this, but I didn't mean to hurt your feelings." So it's always, to me, that is the part that I want my kids to grow up and say that, my mom was the best mom I ever had. I didn't agree with a lot of things that she did, but I love my mom. I don't want them to grow up and be like, "Mom never did this. Mom only yelled at me. Mom only did that." So that is kind of a fear of mine. It's just, what are they thinking? What are their thoughts of me? How I'm gauging myself by how they see me as a parent. So it's a struggle for me to make sure that, that I want to have that type of relationship where my kids love me. That they value the things that I tell them. They want to spend time with me even when they grow up.
Yeah.
So things I worry about on a daily basis is making sure that we keep that connection open. Another thing as a parent that I find is very hard or difficult is time for self-care. I think as women in general, I mean, we spend so much time taking care of everybody, the husband, the house, the kids. It's oftentimes, it's a lot to just have me time, like really just to have a couple minutes a day where it's just me. I just focus on what does Joanna want to do? What would be fun for me? And I don't get a lot of that time. Most of the times it's either when everyone in the house is asleep, which is really late at night, or super early in the morning. That's really the time that I have. But what I'm learning even now is that that's not enough. I need time where I just go off by myself, whether I get my nails done, I go get something to eat, where I leave the house, whether I go to the park and just read a book. I need to get away, not
Right.
for those moments in the morning time, but I need time where I need to be doing something that is healing to my soul, whatever it be. And it doesn't have to be anything expensive. It doesn't have to be anything that's, all fabulous, but it's just stuff that I do to take care of myself, emotionally, spiritually, and physically. So now I that is another thing that I'm finding hard time is where to put that in at, because my schedule is so jam packed between trying to run my business, trying to be a mom, working full time, writing a book, doing all these other things. But where can I put in where I'm taking care of myself and just having a self-care moment, for
Right.
me? So that is something I struggle with too, is just trying to make sure that I don't forget that portion of it, because, life can get overwhelming at times. And I notice mostly when I'm feeling depressed or down or something, it's because I'm not taking care of those areas of my life, not taking care of myself emotionally, spiritually, or physically. And I don't want that to happen. Another thing that I find is difficult now is that I have a 3 and I have a 5-year-old, and it's just disciplining them has become an issue as they grow up, because now they're walking and talking and trying to decide what is the best discipline for them. Is it time out? Is it a spanking? Is it taking stuff away? What is most effective for the child? And then they're both different. So it's like I can't, I
Yes.
can use one disciplinary on both of them, but they're so different. What works for my son doesn't work for my daughter, because that doesn't bother her. She don't mind being in her room all day with nothing, So that's not effective discipline for her.
We have a get along shirt. We got a get along t-shirt. It's a real small t-shirt that all 3 people have to get in and stay in for about 15 minutes. We also do things like suicides, basically in the backyard. They got to run suicides. We do front leaning rest position. We also do wall squats. Discipline is, listen, you got to be creative with the discipline, because like you said, what works for one child doesn't work for the other child. Like, for instance, Adam is on restriction today and tomorrow. His restriction is he's in his room. He happy. He perfectly content. He has not begged me to come out of his room not one time. David, if David was on restriction where he was in his room, he would all day, Mommy, can I please come out? Mommy, please let me out.
So Adam really ain't no restriction then, huh?
Girl, but all I know is Adam and Maxwell ain't fighting. That's all that matters.
A little piece for you, huh?
Right. And it's a lot. Just like I say, I'm learning different things. Like I had the hardest time. I am a person, when I get up out of the bed in the morning, I make my bed and I clean my house. I hate to come home to a house that's dirty, because I've worked all day. Now I got to come home and clean up. That doesn't sit well with me. So before I even leave the house, all my dishes is washed, all the kids' beds are made, all the toys are picked up. So when I come home, I can just relax and start cooking dinner. I don't want to have to do all of that. So one of the things I had a hard time with
Can I get one of you at my house?
One of the problems that I had was trying to get my son to make his bed. Okay, so he just does not. I mean, I've tried everything. He don't get it. No matter how many times I yell, scream, whatever, it just wasn't working. So we were kind of talking the other day, and I was telling him, I was like, well, if you do your house chores, maybe we could, negotiate some type of allowance, or, maybe you could get a surprise, like maybe we could go for ice cream or something like that. That was now every day he gets up and like, Mommy, don't forget to put my little thing on there saying that I made my bed.
Motivation. What T.I. say? Motivation. All you need is a little bit.
It was so simple, and the allowance was only like $1 a week for him to do. He had to do 5 chores every day he gets a little stamp that says he did them and he completed them. Once at the end of the week, if he does everything, he gets $1. I mean, and that was like the motivation for him to do it. So now I don't even have to get up. Before I get up, he'll tell me, "Mommy, I already made my bed." So can you
Right now.
mark on?
Won't he do it?
So it's just that I think that is the most difficult part, is trying to figure out what works, what doesn't work for each child, because they're so different. I mean, so I don't know. Those are my challenges, right now. But I mean, there's always something new that comes up that literally I'm like, I have no idea what to do. As a parent, I'm like, I got nothing.
They don't come with instructions, and they don't have an off button. Like, they constantly going. Like, even when it's time to go to bed, like, ain't nobody thirsty until it's time to go to bed. All of a sudden, everybody just so parched. I need to get something to drink.
They thirsty, or they gotta go to the bathroom. I'm like, dude, you been up 5 hours, you ain't had to use the bathroom. Now you gotta go to the bathroom.
Then Maxwell, after he says his prayers, then he want to talk to you for another 45 minutes. Dude, I don't even want to talk to you. Like, I want to talk to you. I want you to go to sleep.
And my daughter's like that. Like, Zoe literally will put her down to bed and she wants to have a conversation. That's what she says. Mommy, can we have a conversation?
No, we sure cannot. I'm gonna need you to listen to this bedtime story, and I'm gonna need you to close your eyes.
So we have to have a conversation each night, me and my husband separately now, because she has to have 2 different conversations.
Smart cookie.
So that's another 30 minutes to her actually going to sleep.
So I mean, you got to get smart and start a little earlier.
Right. The kids are smart now.
They too smart. Because Maxwell will tell you, he'll say, "Well, Mommy, it's not dark outside, so that means it's not bedtime." And I'll tell him, "Well, if you close your eyes, it's gonna be dark." Mommy, that makes no sense.
My challenges are different than you guys. Okay. My baby is about to be 23 years old. If there was such thing as a perfect child, from conception to beginning of, or not, take that back, from conception to 6th grade, my child was the best. I had no heartburn. I had no pregnancy issues. She came out beautiful child, head full of hair, sweet, cute. I mean, from teaching her, hey, when you wake up in the morning, the first thing you do is make your bed, wash your face, brush your teeth, put your clothes on. I mean, from just, you taught her that, you did it 2 times in a row, and every morning, that's the first, she jumped out the bed, the alarm goes off, she knows she had to make up her bed, go to the bathroom, wash her face, brush her teeth, get her clothes on. She would eat, and then I would comb her hair. From that night before, you play with your toys. You have to put your toys away before you go to bed. Perfect kid. When she goes to Granny's house, she was a different kid. I think it was because there were regulated rules or things that she had to do. But at Granny house, it was like, hey, long as she ain't killing herself, it was all good. And it was so weird that she knew, here I can do this, but at home I had to do this. So, I mean, never a problem in school. She got good grades. Teachers said, good things about her. If there was an area she may have been struggling in, we would kind of do our homework, and she would say, well, this is what she didn't understand. It wasn't until we moved from Indiana to Texas the summer of her junior high, which was 6th grade. She started, getting around some different kids, and, you got your little preteen or, preteen, issues she goes through. But we didn't really have too many issues. But I had 4 children, 1 biological, which was the girl, and then I had 3 love children. I inherited them on my wedding night. They were boys. And so even when they would come over on the weekends to stay with us, we didn't have any issues. And I don't know if it was, maybe, their mom is like, hey, you need to be on your best behavior, or it was just, it was some kind of mutual respect. We had a lot of fun with each other. There was no issues or behavior issues or anything that, that I or my husband, we had to deal with, from the kids. And so moving up, I think when we got married, the boys were 6, 7, and 8, and Zaria was 2. And so now they're 29, 28, 27, and going on 23. And so it's kind of crazy that, the parenting, or the difficulty is coming as they're adults, because when you're a parent parenting adult children, you have to think about that in a whole different way. It's not, a do what I say, or this is what I'm telling you to do. It's almost a conversation like, like your friends. You're just talking about your different experiences, and you may see things that you don't think is a good idea, and you try to tell them what they should do. They like, listen here, partner, this is my world. We growing up in here. And so my husband and I have had to realize that we have to approach things from a different standpoint. And then, especially the boys will say, y'all was right. Duh. We ain't telling you something that we just pulled out the sky.
Right.
But it's funny to, hear them say, you were right when you said this. It's like, dude, you done went through all this drama for nothing. If you just said, listen from the beginning. I don't know why everybody got to learn the hard way. Why do we have to learn the hard way?
We learned the hard way too. So
that's what I'm saying. Why do we have to learn the hard? Why can't you just hear what somebody's telling you? And another thing I've learned, my daughter, she'll listen to somebody else. She'll take advice from somebody else other than me. That's the same things that I've been saying, but it sounds a little bit different than her coming from somebody else, a younger adult than me, which I don't get that. I don't understand it. And so I don't know if, like, my parenting from them being children, if it was because we were a blended family, and it was just so much easier when they were younger children. I think it's more difficult now that they're adults trying to parent.
Right.
We're parenting parents. 2 of our children have children. And so, as a grandparent, you try to stay in your lane, but you don't want, if you see something going on with your grandkids, it's like, you kind of try to have that conversation, you kind of tiptoeing and having it. So for me, that has been the most difficult part of parenting. You don't really know what each child needs. Like I say, they don't come with instruction manuals, so you got to kind of figure it out. But it's so difficult, to raise kids, especially, Joanna, you are married. Danya, you were married, but now you're doing it singly. So it's interesting to see that, some of the same issues, whether you're single or married, or, things that have been easy, whether you're single or married, how they kind of, merge together or whatever. But it really still does. I know it's kind of different than when we grew up. It still does take a village, to raise family. You need, the children need the love from their parents. They need that love and tenderness and understanding from their grandparents. You may have that aunt or uncle that, kind of put things in that. They need their entire village, because sometimes, a different perspective of something that you're trying to teach them comes from the village and not necessarily the parents. So I find that super interesting. But before we proceed on, we want to take a time out to do a Cousin's Corner. And today, I know y'all been looking at this fly hat that I've been rocking. My sorority sister, my line sister, actually turned me on to this young man. His name is, the name of the business is J.L. Michaels Custom Clothiers. And I think I purchased 8 hats from this young man. And he does an online sale, I think every Tuesday or every other Tuesday for women. And I think the men's hat sales are on Thursdays. But this is one hat that I have purchased or whatever. It's a red brim, a red hat with a little black underline. And so I was just going to kind of show you guys some of the different hats that I purchased from him. Here's a white one, so y'all can see what kind of coldness he got going on or whatever. I'm gonna be fly. Anybody that knows me knows I love hats. Actually today I counted, because I knew we were gonna be doing Cousin's Corner. I think I have over 50 hats. That includes hats like these or baseball caps. And one thing I love about this hat is that I have so many leopard print shoes. I got boots, shoes, or whatever. And so I'm just kind of showing y'all the kind of flyness y'all can get if you're ever interested in, going online. Like I said, those are cold-blooded. Ow!
All I hear right now is, where in the world is Carmen Sandiego?
You know, you watch too much TV. You know what I'm saying? You watch too much television. Let me tell y'all something. When it's time for me to go outside again, woo, y'all ain't gonna be able to tell me nothing.
Girl, we can't tell you nothing inside.
Well, I'm just saying, okay? I'm just saying. And all of these hats, all the hats I have purchased have been between like $55 and $65. I believe most of my hats were $65. Maybe a couple were $60, and maybe one was $55. Right now, the last two Tuesdays, he's had a summer clearance sale, and the hats have been like, look at this purple one, that's so pretty. The hats have been, the summer hats have been on sale for like $45. Ooh, you can't tell me nothing.
My whole scalp would be sweating in Mississippi with one of them.
Girl, Mr. Michael L. Johnson Jr. He go the coldest one right here. I can't wait to get on somebody's beach. Ooh, baby.
Okay, MJB.
Let me tell you something, honey. I can't wait, okay, to be able to go outside and put on some of them hats. So right now I'm just rocking them. I'm just rocking them on the, on this little podcast so y'all can kind of see me. You know what I'm saying?
Sure, please. I'll be wearing them to the grocery store. Hey.
Yellow. He has yellow, orange, blue, black, brown. I mean, all kinds of. I think a lot of them are felt, which can be worn in the fall or like the spring. And then you have your summer hats. I mean, he has wide brims. He calls them stingy brims. I mean, just all, and some of those men hats, cold-blooded. He does a lot. He shows a lot of the men hats as well on the ladies sales, because a lot of ladies can rock some of the men's hat in small. And so I love hats. Like I said, I have probably over 55 hats that in a lot of most bigger brim like this. I think I counted 31 today. And then I have a lot of like baseball caps or, other little, what do they call them? Like page boy caps. I love hats, Tams, all kinds of things. So you can find him on Facebook. The name of the business is J.L. Michaels Custom Clothiers, and he hosts live shows where he sells the hats. It's almost like an auction, but you're not bidding against one another. If say, for instance, if you wanted this hat, he'll have a number with it. So this is hat number 1. So you type in the chat, mine number 1. You go out and pay. You can pay him via PayPal or Cash App. And if you're new to purchasing, he gives you 2 minutes to pay. If you are a veteran buyer like myself, I think you have until the end of the show over to pay. If you spend $100 or more, you get $10 off your total. And so the shipping price is included with the price of the hat. So check him out. He has some cold-blooded hats, okay? I have to stay off. Sometimes I skip Tuesday. I think I have 8 hats from him total. And every time I'm like, okay, I'm not going to look this week. And then I kind of sneak peek and look, and I'm writing down numbers or whatever. At first, when I first started, I would purchase something, boom, right away. But now I just kind of see, I got a lot of beige. I got a lot of black. I got black felt. I got black straw. So you just kind of see what you want. So I think I'm working on a yellow one. It's kind of like just like this, but yellow. And we'll see. But shout out to Michael. I appreciate you, brother, Michael Johnson. Okay.
That's Cousins Corner.
That's our Cousins Corner. So if you have a product or something you would like for us to shout out and give, an opportunity for our viewers or somebody in the world who might check us out, you never know. Somebody might purchase something of yours because they watched the Sista-Cousins podcast. Yes. So back into the episode of challenges of raising children. Are there any other things that you guys see or foresee or another thing I want to talk about, when Donnie was talking about these kids, they having to do the same sport because you ain't gonna be running here, there, and everywhere. It's that commercial that they got out. I forget. I think it's a drink commercial where they say ride share was created by moms and she never charged anything for it. And say now you got you got Uber and Lyft charging for the same thing that mamas did forever or whatever
for free. For free 99.
Yeah.
That's
my
just
daughter's
like
kind of shy. Huh?
It's so funny because like one of my cousins, he has a minivan and he has 3 daughters or whatever. And I'm sorry, I'm not getting a minivan. Somebody just can't go. Okay? if y'all can't sit in this dang on Pathfinder, you can't go. I'm not doing it.
You do got 5 kids. How old are you? 5 plus you and your mama. Y'all all 7 fit up in there?
Yup.
And you got like car seats and everything. I bet they be like, police gonna put. Listen, I know it ain't no 5 seat belts in that back seat. I'm gonna have to call Popo.
Yes, it is, Craig. Yes, it is.
Not together. You can't be putting them in there together.
They skinny. One of them make one. 2 of them make one person. They skinny. Girl, it work. No. Judge your mama.
Lord, somebody donate a van to this girl.
Did I just say somebody just can't go? Yeah, somebody said that.
Look, adulting is hard. Parenting is harder. So I just encourage all the mothers out there, just do the best you can. I know that I tend to be real hard on myself about certain things, but we're all just trying to do the best that we can. So give yourself some grace.
Yeah.
Just say the kids don't come with instruction manuals. Do the best you can. Apologize when you need to. Stand firm when you need to. Don't be afraid to discipline. And my one piece of advice is stop being these kids' friends. I want my kids to love me. I want to have a friendly relationship with them. But first and foremost, I am their parent first. I cannot say that enough. I've seen some parents.
Repeat that again.
Is to be.
She says,
be a parent to your kids.
Oh.
Be their friend second, but be a parent first. Mm-hmm. And I think it's needed, especially during these times. You have to be able to discipline your kids. You have to let them know that you are the parent and that you're looking out for the best interest of them. And sometimes that's going to require you to put your foot down and say, no, we are not going to do this. We're not going to go this way. No, you're not going to wear that. Be a parent.
Right. For me, my parting advice would be comparison is the thief of joy. Stop comparing yourself to other parents. Stop comparing yourself to these parents on social media who, oh my gosh, their kids look so perfect. Everything is so good together. Listen, sometimes Rachel go to daycare. She got one ponytail right here, one ponytail right here. And she never let me get to that side. I'm going to go ahead and take you because I got to go to work. I'm not going to be stressing myself out because somebody else's kid is perfectly coached.
I think one thing that, what was the episode, Growing Up Clark with my mom? She made a comment that, your children watch us and they see what we do. And so you never know how something will impact them, whether it's positive or negative. You hope it's positive or whatever. But I think that because of the love that you guys give them when it's needed, the good will always outweigh the bad, and they'll understand as they get older when they have their own children and kind of see how life goes. So I just want to encourage y'all. I pray for y'all daily, honey. Ooh, praise God that I have my children young, because I listen to you say something. Honey, let me tell you something. I don't know if I can do it. I don't have Job's patience. Patience of Job, they say. I don't have it. And I commend y'all for what y'all do. I commend y'all for being the courageous women you are. You guys are strong and you guys are goal-oriented, you career-oriented. You want to love your children and be the best moms and wife that you can be. So I commend you guys and I pray for y'all every day. I've only had one. One. So I love y'all and I know your children love you. And I pray that things get easier for you, especially you, Danya. I know everything is on your shoulders. You got it from your children to your mom to your work, for yourself. I honestly, I couldn't imagine. And so I'm praying that you get some kind of relief somehow. I'm gonna need you to spend some of that cash you got and get you a little housekeeper or part-time babysitter. Let me hold something.
I'm need you to wrap this up because I got a baby knocking at my door. So,
let me hold something. Can I hold something? Oh, you got it. Or
I
borrow
ain't-
something you want.
I ain't
She
got
don't get you something. Get your little babysitter or something.
I ain't got it, cuz.
All right, audience members, if you guys have found or you have some challenges that you have gone through with raising your children, and you can share that information with us and or our audience, we would love to hear from you. Please put those comments down in the comment section on any of our podcast avenues. Again, we are on Podbean, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Google Podcasts, YouTube, and Facebook. Look us up, the Sista-Cousins Candid Conversations podcast. We love y'all. We thank y'all for watching. So till next time, peace and hair grease.